Hello everyone, and welcome to my Witchcraft book haul. I hope you'll stick around and enjoy my recent additions to my collection. The first book is The Psychic Witch by Matt Oren, which is a metaphysical guide to meditation, magic, and manifestation. This is a really beautiful book that I just recently started reading. I've read a little bit of it and has a lot of meditation exercises, and it's definitely very good for beginners. I was super annoyed when I got this book though, because I got it off Amazon and it came with a lot of the pages stuck together, so I sadly had to cut those, and it looks so bad and I hate it because the pages are a lot shorter than other pages, which I easily could have returned it and got another book, but I sort of see it as a beautiful thing about the book, so I guess I just have to put up with it. The next book is The Spellbook for New Witches, Essential Spells to Change Your Life by Ambrosia Hawthorne. This is a really beginner-friendly book. It has a lot of nice spells in it. There aren't spells that I personally do a lot on them, but I really enjoyed reading through the book. It has a lot of beginner-friendly resources, and I really enjoyed reading through it. The next book is Protection Spells by Erin Murphy Hiscock. This is a book entirely protection spells, all spells to clear negative energy, banish unhealthy influences, and embrace your power. This is definitely one of my favorite witchcraft books. Every spell is beginner friendly. I've already done quite a few of the spells in this book. It's just little mini, fit it right into your bag. And every spell in it is so beautiful. I fell so in love with the book. Every book by Erin is just so gorgeous, and I would highly recommend it. Next up is The Witch's Guide to Manifestation, Witchcraft for the Life You Want by Mystic Dylan. This is actually my current read, but what I've read of it so far has been super inspiring. They have a lot of really good methods for manifestation, yet again very beginner friendly, everything from colors to law of attraction, basically using everything in life to get what you want in your life and to manifest it. Next up, we have The Jar Spells Compendium by Laura Halpert. This book has 100 jar spells for everything from protection, change, prosperity, love, and more. The spells are very nice in it. I haven't yet read it, but from what I did see of it, definitely a very good resource. Teaches you everything of jar spells and a lot of basics to witchcraft. I also got another book on jar spells, which is also The Jar Spells Compendium, which it is by a different author, Phoebe Anderson. It also has 100 recipes for pretty much the same thing. I don't know how similar these are, I really need to look into it. This might be a new edition of the last one though, I'm not entirely certain. The spells in it are very good. I love the font of the book. Very pretty to look at. Next up is The Beginner's Guide to Crystals by Lisa Butterworth. This is the everyday magic of crystal healing of 65 or more stones. This is definitely beginner friendly. It is all the most basic crystals that you'll run into. It doesn't have any of the really rare stones, but it shows each of the crystals' origin, what they're used for in day-to-day healing and in day-to-day life, the chakra they're associated with, and their color, and also why each stone is magic. Next up is The Chakras and Self-Care by Ombi Kavanga. That might be pronounced wrong. Basically, this book goes into how to activate your healing powers and use everyday rituals just to better enhance your life using the chakras. There's a lot of different rituals in here. It shows the correspondences of the chakras, which there's a bookmark in that, so I can write because I was reading it. But what I read of it, it was super enjoyable, and I would recommend it. Next up is a little baby book. It is The Crystal Bible, which I absolutely love this. It doesn't have every crystal in it, but it is a guide to over 200 crystals by Judy Hall. It goes into the rarity of the crystals, how they're used, there's correspondences in the back of the book. It shows photos of the crystals and all their colors, and it has multiple pages on each crystal. It is definitely very beginner friendly and a good resource if you're just starting to get into crystals. The next book is Llewellyn's Complete Formulary of Magical Oils. It has over 1,200 recipes, potions, and tinctures for everyday use. I cannot wait to make the oils in this book. It has so many beautiful recipes, everything for finances, jobs, money, protection, love, anything you can think of, there is an oil recipe for it in this book, and I can't wait to make all of them. One of my favorite things about this book was the book blessing on the inside cover. I am so in love with this blessing. I actually wrote on the inside my Book of Shadows, as did my mom. It is so beautiful, and I love it so much. Next up is the Native American Herbalist Bible, which is 10 books in one with 200 plus ancient herbal remedies. This seems like a very good resource, but I'm not 100% sure because it is a couple books combined in a sort of poor manner, but I did really enjoy looking through it and reading through what I did, and I would love to try some of the recipes from it. I'm Native American, and I'm really trying to get in touch with my culture, and this is one of the first steps towards that. The next book is an Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. It has 550 herbs and remedies for common ailments. This was actually a book I found at my local bookstore that my mom wanted for years or never by herself, so I did buy it for her. And it is such an amazing book. I love the way it's set up. It goes into every single ailment. It goes into all the different herbs and balms you can make for them, and capsules that you can take and how much you should put in those capsules. Everything that you can think of is in here, and it is so helpful. I can't wait to start really trying the recipes and going the more herbal route for medicine, because I hate how many pills we take in modern day, which, believe me, I'm not going to completely go herbal, but I really love the idea of going more natural and using what the earth provides for us. And this is a beautiful resource for it that I feel like everything is very safe in, and it's a good starting point. Next up is All About Dreams by Gail Delaney, a PhD. She is also the author of Living Your Dreams. This book is everything you need to know about your dreams, why you have them, what they mean, and how to put them to work for you. I haven't really looked into this book yet. I got it a little while ago. I think a family member gifted it to me. And it's definitely very interesting, and it brings up a lot of good ideas about dreams, which I can't wait to fully read it. Next up is a Dictionary of Dreams, which is every meaning interpreted, which there are some things missing, but it goes into certain words and what they mean for you in your dreams, whether it's you or a person around you, and I really enjoy it. I also use these for my charm readings. If I don't know the meaning of a charm, I will interpret it as a dream meaning, and that is super helpful. It's Linda Goodman's Love Signs, which this is every single sun sign together. So for example, a Cancer woman and a Gemini man, which this book is definitely old-fashioned in the sense that it's only man and woman, which I definitely prefer one that is more adapted to today. But a lot of the information in it is very true for straight couples, and it has been very accurate for what I've read of it for the relationships in my life and for the relationships in my family's lives and friends' lives. It's a really good resource, and I really did enjoy reading through it. Next up is Astrology of You and Me by Gary Goldschneider. It is how to understand and improve every relationship in your life, which this goes into each sign in love, in work, as a friend, as a parent, and as a sibling. It was super good to read, and I loved reading about the people in my life and realizing how much it lined up, and it's a super fun, just quick read. Definitely a good, coffee table read. Next up, we have The Complete Guide to Astrology, Understanding Yourself, Your Signs, and Your Birth Chart by Louise Eddington. This is definitely a beginner guide. It isn't very detailed, it just goes into each of the signs in your chart and how to read them with basic definitions. Next up is Astrology and a Lightning Primer for Starry-Eyed Beginners by Madeline Gerwick, which this I haven't really looked into too much, but it basically does the same as the last one with a little more details and uses celebrity charts throughout the book. Next up is my favorite astrology book. It is the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanna Woolfolk. I love this book so much. I had it on my iPad before this, and it's how I read every chart that I've read. I love it so much. It goes through every sign, it goes through the sun signs, the moon signs, Venus, and it's always very accurate. It tells you how to read the birth charts, and it is definitely a #1 recommendation from me for beginners. I love it, and I refer to it anytime I'm working on a birth chart. Next up is The Green Witch's Garden by Erin Murphy Hiscock, which is a complete guide to creating and cultivating your own magical garden. So this teaches you all about different herbs and flowers and plants you can grow in your own garden, and teaches you how to do that and how to keep logs of your garden. Basically everything you need to make a garden that will help your magical practice. I absolutely love this book, and it's so gorgeous. The next book is The Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judika Ilyes. This is the ultimate guide to the magic of fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, gods, and goddesses. So this is one of the books that's highly recommended for every witch. It is basically a big resource of anyone that you can work with on the spirit side of things. So there are the gods, such as the Greek goddesses, the Roman goddesses, All of that is in this book, and it teaches you everything about them from their backstory to any of the days for them. It's a very good resource. Next up, we have another encyclopedia. This is the Element Encyclopedia of Witchcraft, also by Judica. This book goes through everything witchcraft related and gives you a definition of it and sort of an origin to it. So it's basically a lot of key words just slapped into one book, and it teaches you the basics. So for example, the history of mistletoe, or the planets, and astrology, and certain witches in history, and certain books that they recommend. It's definitely a good resource, and I really enjoyed looking through what I did look through of it. The next book is one of my favorite books of all time. It is Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, the ultimate reference book for the magical arts. Now, they literally give you a disclaimer not to do a fair portion of the spells in this book as it's not safe, but this goes into the history of witchcraft and witchcraft from all over the world, and it's really interesting to see how other witches in history did their spells, and you can build your own spells upon some of the spells in this book. A lot of it is very advanced, so it's not necessarily beginner friendly, but there are some in here for every witch, and it is a good resource to really learn how to write your own spells sort of based on these, or to really learn how to be like the more advanced witches. Next up, we have Guided Tarot for Seamless Readings by Stephanie Capone. This is an absolute beginner's guide to tarot, so if you're brand new at tarot, I would definitely recommend this book. It is a picture of every card, an upright meaning, a reverse meaning, and sort of a description of the cards, and it is a super nice resource. If you have trouble remembering the meanings, it's very good just to have at your bedside and to really reflect on the cards and learn about them. Next up, we have The Ultimate Guide to Tarot Card Readings by Bridget Esselman, the founder of Biddy Tarot. This was a book that I downloaded on my iPad before I got the physical copy of, and it is one of my favorite tarot card books. It is something that I always refer to when I'm struggling with the meanings. It has absolutely everything for each card, from career meanings, suggested combos, well-being and health, spirituality, quotes for each card, keywords, general meanings, love meanings. I highly, highly recommend this book, and I love it so much. The next book is sort of like a textbook on tarot. It is called Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wen, and it is one of my most anticipated reads on tarot. It has in-depth meanings to all of the cards, the history of the tarot cards. It even has case studies for professional tarot readers, and it teaches you pretty much how to start doing tarot card readings professionally. It shows who your customer base will be. It's an amazing resource, and I know it's been highly recommended by everyone, and just from what I've seen of it, I can definitely see why. The next little book is the Book of Yule, which this is one of Llewellyn's Sabbath books, and I loved it so much. Basically, I'm trying to collect each of these little books for each of the holidays, and they are so nice and little and petite. They go into the rituals of each holiday. They give you some recipes for foods that you can make and drinks, and they're super nice. One of my favorite things about this was the tarot spreads that they added in. I did both of the Yule tarot spreads, and I enjoyed doing it so much. Next up is The Green Witch, your complete guide to the natural magic of herbs, flowers, essential oils, and more by Erin Murphy Hiscock. Again, I love her so much. This is a beautiful resource whenever you're just starting to get into witchcraft for the more green side of things. It goes into the oils, different herbs, different recipes, rituals. It also dips into gardening, sort of like the other one did. Absolutely, I love this book. Next up is a complete book of incense, oils, and brews by Scott Cunningham. I love this book. It has recipes for all different types of oils, and it goes into different incenses and different essential oils. It's such a beautiful resource, and I can't wait to make the recipes that are listed in here and really see how they work for my witchcraft. Also, the artwork throughout this book is beautiful, and I love it so much. Next up is Moon Spells. This is an entire book on how to use the phases of the moon to get what you want. This book has a lot of candle magic in it, which I don't personally do much candle magic, but it is an amazing book. I love the spells in it. It has everything that you need. and it teaches you how to use the moon phases to help you in your craft and what each moon phase is good for. Next up is this massive book of 1001 Spells by Cassandra Eason. This has spells for absolutely every purpose you can dream of. It is everything from love magic to career magic to helping out your neighbors or getting rid of bad neighbors. It is an amazing resource, and a lot of the spells are beginner friendly, although some are definitely for witches of all skill levels. And I loved looking through this book and reading the spells, and I can't wait to base my own spells off some of the ones that I read in here. Next up is another encyclopedia. This is an encyclopedia of mystics, saints, and sages. It is an entire guide to asking for protection, wealth, happiness, and everything else. I believe this book is anyone that is classified as a miracle worker. So this is anyone in history who has been known to perform miracles or help people from the other side. It teaches everything about these people, their classification, where they are in religion, any days dedicated to them, people who they favor, different colors that they're associated with, feasts for them, anything dedicated to them is in here. Next up is something that's definitely going to help my witchcraft this year. It is Welland's 2023 Magical Almanac. It is practical magic for everyday living. So this goes into all the different types of magic: earth magic, air magic, fire magic, and water magic. It gives you a bunch of different spells and rituals and important things that can help your craft throughout the year. And it also has an entire almanac section, which that section gives you the lunar phases for each day, the color for each day, incense for each day, the holiday. It's such a good resource, and it's definitely going to help me plan my craft out better this year. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Bye. Mwah.